Hi, folks. Welcome to Coffee with Mark. Now, let me just start by saying I don't like to make these type of videos because people say I come off as angry. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Anyway, let's talk about the DJI ban, which there is no ban actually at this point. There may be. Let's talk about what's going on here. Now, it all started last year with the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, which has to be passed every year in this country, in the U.S. It was passed last year in June. This bill stipulates the amount of funding for the military, the amount of military personnel, and all types of facets dealing with the military. What happens is a lot of folks, a lot of politicians who have an agenda, love to stick stuff in there because they know it could easily get passed. That's what's happened with this drone supposedly ban that's upcoming. Language was put in there saying that the DJI has to be audited for security reasons. If nobody does an audit, no department like the Department of Defense or any other department of the U.S. government, if they don't do this audit, then they'll automatically get banned and go on a covered list at the end of December, which I believe is, in this case, it's the 23rd because the Congress goes on vacation for Christmas right before then. So if that happens, then no new DJI products would be allowed to come into the U.S. The FCC would not be able to issue licenses for any new DJI products that come in. Now, there's been a wrinkle added to it. Senator Rick Scott has pushed the FCC, or had written a letter to the FCC saying, "Can we make this ban retroactive? Can you guys get the power to make this ban retroactive? So if DJI does go on the cover list, and this is any other product too that might come in that the FCC wants to take a look at. A lot of the stuff comes from China. Anyway, if this ban takes place, the FCC can look at previous products that have been licensed by the FCC and revoke those licenses. Now, from my understanding, it only goes back to the beginning of 2025. So in this case, the Mini 5 Pro, which was just released, might be affected because that was licensed in this year. But other products, like newer products like the Mavic 4 Pro, that was actually licensed December of last year. So that, to my knowledge, would not be covered under this FCC retroactive ban, along with the Air 3S, which was licensed much earlier than the Mavic 4 Pro was. Now, that's talking about the revocation of current FCC licensing. Now, if DJI does become banned, what happens? Will you suddenly have the ban? Have your products won't be able to fly? Well, no. Your products will still be able to fly. There's no way that the FCC can reach over the airwaves and pull those frequencies so that you can't even fly your drone. It's not going to happen. You'll be able to fly any drone that you may have in your possession at this point. Now, I have a number of DJI drones. Moving back here, I got a Phantom 4 here, and I have in that Tupperware container Phantom 3 Pro, and I have three other Phantom 4 Pros in my shop. Two of them are the V2 version. As you might know, on my channel, I've done a lot of repair videos, and I obtain these drones broken off of eBay and then rebuild them making videos. Will these drones become worth a lot more if the ban takes place and they're a finite quantity? Maybe. Not sure. Is DJI going to brick these drones? Is it going to try to push out a firmware? Is it going to stop the app from working so that you can't fly these drones? I doubt it. DJI does not want to be the bad guy in all this. They want to be the good guy, and they want to treat their customers properly. So it's highly doubtful that they will ban these, or they will actually issue any kind of firmware to stop these drones from flying and or pull their app from working. There's no way they can possibly do that, and they won't, because again, they want to treat their customers properly. There would be thousands of customers who would be really upset at DJI if that were to happen. Now, on top of what's happening with that, we've had the products are very difficult to obtain. The DJI products are very difficult to obtain in this country. And part of that is due to DJI themselves. Now, they've been accused of the Uyghur Protection Act, which indicates that, or they say indicates that DJI have been using child labor in the past. Now, from my understanding, and this is what DJI has said, their warehouses, a lot of them are automated, and I've seen videos of their warehouses, and I don't see any child labor working in their warehouses, so I don't know. I've never seen any proof of that. Nobody's been able to come up with any proof of that. There's also indications that they were in line with the military, that the CCP. They apparently supply drones in the Uyghur area, apparently, that were spying on oppressed people. Again, I've seen some postings on the internet, but I've never seen any irrefutable proof, any documents to that effect. And none of the politicians in this country have, in my estimation, or for what I know, have come up with any irrefutable evidence. I've never seen documents saying this is exactly what happened. I've never seen videos saying that they actually did this. So now I do know that DJI in the past was taking consumer information, mainly for the consumer's benefit. They were actually logging the hours people were flying, maybe the locations, just so that they can give feedback to the pilot themselves. Now, is that considered spying? Well, maybe, but what are they going to do? Can they make any use of me flying a drone in my backyard, videoing a tree in the backyard, or my fire pit? I doubt it. People aren't really allowed to fly around sensitive areas in this country, military installations anyway. So, and of course they have satellite technology that I'm sure they can see pretty much anything they want to see in this country. Now, keep in mind also on that particular topic, where are these iPhones made? Pretty much where is any phone made? China. So don't you think that if they wanted to obtain evidence, spy evidence from in this country, that it's much easier to grab evidence from these phones, which we all carry with us, that document our location, that's been proven, and that we take pictures and videos pretty much everywhere we go. So don't you think this is a bit of an issue? Don't you think this is more of an issue? Don't you think they should be banning these? Are they gonna? No. It's not gonna happen. So what can you do if these drones are banned? Well, you can keep flying them, that's for sure. They're certainly not going to be stopped. What's going to happen is you're not going to be able to obtain any new drones, at least not easily. They'll be banned from selling them because they won't be able to have an FCC license issued to them. Can you still obtain them? Well, maybe. I mean, right now, because of DJI's sale stoppage, you can't buy drones off their website anymore, and they're restricting drones that they're allowing retail. They're not sending their drones to retailers anymore. Like, I went on Best Buy's website, and Best Buy's a local retailer. They do sell DJI drones, but they're through through a third party like Beach Audio, who can still obtain them somehow. And the prices are greatly inflated in this country too because of tariffs, and that's a whole other issue right there. I'm not going to talk about that. But the fact is that if they get banned, you still will be able to fly them. Be careful, though. Don't crash them because it might be very, very difficult to obtain parts. Maybe you want to pick up some spare batteries. But the question is, should you be buying these drones now? Because the support will disappear. Well, at this point, in my opinion, the support has pretty much disappeared because DJI has stopped selling these drones. And I don't think you want to send your broken drone back to DJI because they've been stopped at the border because Customs is now stopping these products from coming in because of the Uyghur Act. That's never been any evidence proven that they violated that. But products are getting stopped at the border now. If you break your drone, you send it in for DJI refresh. They send you a new drone. Comes from China. Guess what? It's being stopped. So people are having difficulty with that. Not everybody, but people are having difficulty purchasing drones, getting them from China, and having their drones returned from repair from China because they're being stopped at the border. All, again, politically driven. I don't want to delve too deeply into that. But that's the case in this U.S. No other country in this world is experiencing this but the U.S. Just want to say that also. You'll still be able to fly your drone, getting back to that topic. But again, just be careful. Maybe you want to purchase extra batteries. I wouldn't be afraid to buy DJI drones at this point. I did buy a Mini 5 Pro, and that may be the only drone that could be affected because they were FCC licensed in 2025. Maybe you want to get that. Again, I'm not saying you should, but I'm just saying maybe, because nobody really knows what's going to happen if this ban takes place, and it seems like it is. Now, I will say if the ban takes place, that's when the FCC can invoke their powers to retroactively ban the drones that have been released recently. And they're probably going to do that because Brendan Carr, who is the FCC chairman, has been a staunch opponent of DJI over the years. Again, citing security issues, although nothing's really been proven. Anyway, I don't know what else to say about it, folks, although it doesn't look too good for DJI in this country. Hopefully I've covered all the topics, and hopefully I didn't get too much on a rant here, and hopefully it was civil. All right, folks, I think that's all I'm going to say right now. Again, leave in comments what your thoughts are on this. Voice your opposition, voice your if you're not opposed to this, put that down there too. I'm interested in hearing all of your comments on this. Folks, we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.